The essence of science is admitting when you're wrong. To do so is the only way to find the truth. And the truth is the most important thing in this whole world. So now, I have to admit that we were wrong about our Black Widow spider. This is our pet Black Widow, who we have been making videos about for weeks, months even. Now, to me, it hasn't even been a month. These videos, especially the live animal ones, we record them all way ahead of time. They're often uploaded weeks, even months after we make them. So, I've made several videos about our Black Widow, and they're all scheduled to go live. None of them have yet at the time of recording this, but I hate to admit that every single one of them is wrong. The spider that we have been calling a Black Widow is no such thing. What you are looking at right now is the American house spider. Not the same kind of house spider we did a video on a couple of weeks ago. No, this is a different house spider. This one certainly looks like a Black Widow. It has a neurotoxin like a Black Widow, but it's not as deadly as the Black Widow. And not as, well, black. That probably should have been our first giveaway. In fact, if you go back and you watch all of our videos, you'll see that we're not entirely convinced about this spider. We questioned what kind of spider it is multiple times. We were so sure that it was a Black Widow. But we were saying, oh, maybe the brown markings are a juvenile female, or maybe it's a male, and we're not used to seeing males because they get eaten and they aren't as stationary as females. I was saying many things, actually, such as, oh, hey, you know, maybe it's a brown widow. There are brown widows, of course. There's even a white widow, which is true. And we just thought, oh, we'll figure it out. And we did. We went to Reddit and we said, hey, what is this? 'Cause I've been looking through articles about different Black Widow species, and this doesn't look like any of those, and when I look up the Brown Widow, it really doesn't look like the Brown Widow either, which is what I was starting to think it was. And Reddit was immediately like, hey, fuckface, you don't have a widow here. It sure looks like a widow. Its body type is exactly the same. And it's also a cobweb spider, just like the Black Widow. But it's not. What you have is an American house spider. A spider that lives almost exclusively in urban areas and structures. Great. Wonderful, I said. I'm so happy to finally know what this spider is. And now that I know, the videos that I've been working incredibly hard on for weeks, every single one of them is entirely obsolete. And the first one hasn't even gone live yet. So I asked B3. I actually went above Jerry's head. B3's Jerry's boss. I asked B3, hey, on a Black Widow, it's not a Black Widow. do you still want to release all the Black Widow videos? And he thought about it. He really did. And he said, you know what, Sam? You kissable little guy. Even if the spider in it isn't a Black Widow, it's still a similar spider. And there's a lot of cool stuff in those videos. One of our recent videos, actually 2 of them, featured the Black Widow and weren't even about the Black Widow. It's just sometimes in specimen videos now we'll show animal feedings at the end. So the last one, you know, you got to watch them eat. And he said, we've done so much work on this. Spent so much money on this spider. Oh, that we straight up can't afford to scrap the videos we've already made. So they're going live. They're all still going live. And we're basically going to have to start over. Sure, we're not going to have to make a new enclosure video, but we are going to have to make a new informational video about this spider, which we will do. And we figure it's just... Some of you may even have pointed out that this isn't a Black Widow in the comments of previous videos. But once again, remember, at the time of recording this, and we have mentioned this in Safari Sam episodes before, these episodes are recorded oftentimes way before they go live. Not always. The Troilobyte stuff was recorded pretty shortly before it went up, so was some of the aquarium stuff. But a lot of stuff with our Praying Mantis Rotem and our Black Widow was recorded way ahead of time. And that's one reason that our spider here doesn't have a name yet. Rotem, the Abra Enclave, the Littlefoot Legion, Miracle, all of these critters got names very quickly. But the spider we never gave a name. Maybe it was part of us being unsure about her and wanting to know more about her first. We could just never pick a name for her. And now I really don't know what to call her. People I know personally were like, call her Natasha, call her Scarlet. And I was like, I'm not a hack. But now I'm glad I didn't do that, because she's not a Black Widow. And I don't know if you've noticed, but we definitely got the sex correct. Because as you can see, she's gripping pretty tightly on her egg sac. That's right, folks. The bitch had babies. And to be honest, I really wasn't surprised. Her abdomen was super swollen last time we recorded her. It's so much smaller now. She had a ton of babies in her. Now the question is, what do we do with them? Do we take the babies out of the web and go put them back in the web we got her from in the wild? I would put them in the same exact place. Because that's where she would have been inseminated. Or do we try to raise them ourselves? The answer? I really don't know. I really don't know. So I'm going to need you to weigh in on that too. We're probably going to take a break from videos of her so that we can catch up. I am going to remove the egg sac either way. Either way, it has to come down. And I do hate that for her. I don't want to take her babies from her, but we have to. I mean, she's a good mom right now while they're in the egg sac, yeah. But as soon as they're out of that thing, They're going to stay in the web for a little bit, and then they're all going to run off into the wild. Baby spiders are pretty independent. There are species of spiders that have mums that take care of the babies and then die. There are spiders that will liquefy their own insides so that their babies can eat them. Amazing mothers. But a lot of them, like this one, aren't really going to care for them. They'll just free roam. And they will free roam right out of those ventilation slits on the right. They're going to be so tiny, they're going to go right out of there. And I don't want my house full of spiders with neurotoxin. Maybe that's not the best thing for me. I mean, one in this microhabitat's fine, but... Maybe not like 200. But there are other options, aren't there? Plenty of other options, I'd say. Like, for instance, putting them in another container, which we're going to do. We're going to put the eggs in another container and see if they hatch. Because, in all honesty, they might not be fertilized. We took her from the wild a few weeks ago, and she very easily could have been knocked up before we got her. She hasn't molted since we got her. If you take one out of the wild and then it molts and then it lays eggs, that egg sac is probably not fertilized. And this egg sac might not be fertilized for all we know. But I'm not going to risk that. It's not worth the risk. If it's not fertilized, it's not fertilized, and that's too bad. But it's also no loss, really. But if it is fertilized, and we leave it in there, it's going to be trouble. It's going to be trouble. So we have to take it out. And I'm sorry about that, little lady. But your baby's got to go. And after they're out, we can do an informational video on you and more feeding videos. We can continue to feed you and whatnot at the end of specimen videos. You're a wonderful spider. I love having her as a pet. She doesn't move much, but she's beautiful. And when she does move, it's really worth it. Love watching her eat. And she's right here next to Rotem's enclosure. Rotem is our giant green praying mantis. Definitely check out the videos on Rotem as well. But there's really not much more to do here, is there? So I'm thinking that I will take her egg sac, put it in this old dubia roach container that I have, and we'll see what happens from there. We'll see what happens from there. But we were wrong about our pet spider. Who knows what else we've been wrong about. We do research for these videos, but I guess for her, we didn't do enough. Thank you to What Is This Bug on Reddit. It's a subreddit that I genuinely love. Genuinely love. And I'm glad I finally posted her on there. I was trying to figure it out a bit more independently. But, oh well. She's beautiful. And I love her. And once they reach maturity, they live for a little over a year, which is of course not counting their time as juvies. So I hope to have her for quite a while. And maybe one day we'll get a real black widow spider. That would be nice, wouldn't it? But that is it for now. Thank you all very much for your support. Please remember to rate, comment, subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And we'll see you all next time. Bye for now.